advise the president, and he passes it on down. Consultation is a law that was created that government, mainstream government must talk with Indian government before they have any major changes to an Indian benefit or an Indian program. And there is where these programs have been developed, such as the Workforce Investment Program that offers supportive services to what you guys are doing. Our role is to get as many Native Americans educated in college as we can. If you track a graph across the United States, it is the same in the poverty areas in every single ghetto, every single state, town, city, municipality across the United States. Lack of education, lack of financial resources, increased domestic violence, crime on crime, just all the evils that go with poverty. Federal law says each community is supposed to share 10% of poverty guidelines in their community. So 10 to 14% of Rhode Island is considered poor or living in poverty, although that wage, that dollar value is climbing, and they're expecting more people to fall in that category. But say that's 10%. So of the 39 cities and towns, and there's a 40th entity called the Narragansett tribe that is a sovereign nation, which they just choose not to say, but it is its own municipality and government. If each one of the communities took 10% of the total population of 10% that were living in poverty, there would be no poverty. The problem is nobody wants poor people in their backyard. Or I should say there's a very small population that doesn't want them in the backyard, but that population happens to be in positions where they don't allow it. Representation in the law that provides these things is supposed to represent you. They're supposed to be of you, like you, in your categories. Of course, I haven't seen too many like me, and I'm sure you're not going to see too many like you. Most of them are wealthy and well-connected. But these powers that exist in the law, and the strength that it has in the pen, is really what governs this country. And so, as you become learned people in your field, learn it well. And you'll make changes, effective changes, that you'll get an opportunity to see the benefit of. I'm a benefactor. This young man is a benefactor of the work that was done by Ms. Dove in the second row when she was a young woman. We're benefactors. You guys are benefactors of it. And sometimes because we're benefacting of it, we're enjoying it so much, we forget it can go away. The Bush administration attacked every Indian law and sovereignty act in this country. I spent the last 8 years fighting a thing called common measures, which is a measure to add success in communities. And how it developed was, he said to OMB, I don't understand all these reports. They're very complicated and cumbersome. Design me something that I can get a quick glance and I can gauge how America's doing. So they created the common measure. There is nothing, absolutely nothing, common about America. So therefore, the common measure, which was one measuring tool for the country, failed miserably. And the past 8 years have been entrenched in fighting the common measure and how it does not reflect America. In the employment and education world, when the common measure was introduced, the graph had the flight of a brick straight down. And in '96, it hit panic mode. They assembled a team awaiting a new president and new policies. They stopped the passing of the law of the program, what they call, they were playing with enacting legislation, or they were going to reauthorize the legislation that was stopped until they could rewrite the corrections and put them into the system, because the education measure was gone. There was no education measure in common measures. So they wanted to provide everybody low-end jobs for over 5% of this country that benefit from the last administration. So now we're back at the table fighting common measure, and education will be a measure again, and we can get about our good work. So again, I don't want to talk too much because I can just go all over the place, because that's sort of what I do. I really drive all over the place, and I end up all kinds of places. So I get a little bit talky on a lot of topics. So I invite you to ask me some questions. Any questions you want at all that may be bugging you about something, perhaps I can throw an answer at it. Taxation, how that works, things of that nature. Anything at all.
I'm part of a tribe that's not federally recognized. So is there any way for federally or not federally recognized tribes to get benefit scholarship money?
Yes, there's a whole lot of that. What is the tribe?
Homa?
Omaha?
No, Homa from Louisiana.
Homa from Louisiana. Well, state-recognized tribes can take a redraft of their tribal bylaws or their tribal laws, and they can draft them in identical accordance to a federally recognized tribe, and therefore receive the rights of a federally recognized tribe through self-government of their state bylaws. That's one. Most state-recognized tribes are entitled to benefit programs that exist for natives, because state tribes are included in the law. You have a guy down there named Kevin Billiard, who runs your workforce and education program in Louisiana. He's been there quite a while. You may want to contact him. You can call me later. I have his number. I have a little book in here that lists them all in the country. But you're entitled if you're state recognized. Some tribes are not state recognized, no, they're federally recognized, and they have a little bit more difficult time. Anybody else? Yeah. So I'll leave him.
Okay, so now I would like to thank our two speakers. You guys have another class. You are free to go, but if you guys would like to stay and ask more questions, you are more than welcome. And these two gentlemen will be